Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm so glad that you're here. Wow. So, welcome. We are starting our Friday webinars. And today we're going to be kicking it off with Google and Yahoo email updates. So, this is one of those topics where it's, as a business owner, it's in the need to know category, right? So, I just want to say that because there's some topics that we talk about and we learn about that they're fun, they're ways to be creative, they're marketing, they're growing your bottom line. This here is one of those definitely need to know type of trainings today. So first, some housekeeping. I want to let you know that this is being recorded. We are streaming live to a few different platforms right now, as well as in our webinar tool. If you are interested in the resources, I would encourage you. So I'm going to mention some links that you want to follow, maybe some blogs that you want to look at through Gmail, as well as some of the setup features that we're talking about. And if you're interested and you have not signed up, so if you're already signed up as the webinar platform, you're going to get the resources, no problem. Sign up for the resources here. Righty. And you'll have to, I should tell you all in advance that I am first of all, I don't have my readers on. Second of all, I definitely, I'm not always the greatest speller. So excuse me in advance. So, all right, so let's get started here. I don't want to take up too much of your time today. I appreciate you're here. It's great to see we have some friends here in Connecticut, Michigan, and let's see. Oh, we have a few friends in Connecticut here. So welcome. Drop a hello if you're in the chat. Please do ask any questions as you want, as you have them in the chat. I will do my best to answer them for you. And if it's something that I can't answer here on live, I will absolutely collect your email and get back to you because I want to make sure that I answer your questions. So kind of just getting started. Just some housekeeping about me. Hi, welcome. My name is April. If you haven't been to one of our trainings or our online events before, my name is April Woodcock. I have a digital marketing agency here in Norwich, Connecticut. We work with small to medium-sized businesses in working with their digital marketing strategies, their plans. We do some social media management, some content marketing. We do coaching. We do lots of other things. But we have at Touching Clients, we're working on our 17th year, which is unbelievable to think of where we started. My husband and I created this company together, and it's been an honor. We've had a lot of opportunity to work with so many small businesses across the state, across the country, as well as across the world. So always grateful for that, and it's always great to learn about all of you and all the awesome things that you are doing in the universe. So today, as we get started, in the world of the online marketing realm and digital marketing and just in general, like on Google and Yahoo, there's lots of things that are security issues, right? So I know that's always a concern when we talk about social media, when we talk about our website. One of the things that we talk about, especially if you're using WordPress, you always want to make sure that you have security. So over the course of the past few years, and it's an ongoing thing, and we will see changes like this again, that Gmail and Yahoo, Apple included, are doing some major updates to security starting on February 1st. What does this mean? Really, what this means for you is that it's going to be a little bit harder to get your email delivered to your end user. So the person as you're collecting your email addresses from people, you always want to make sure that you're obviously in compliant. But our biggest goal is that we want to get it to their inbox. So when you talk about marketing tools and the things that we use on a day-to-day basis, I still believe email is one of the number one tools to use in your marketing tool chest. Why? Because social media, I love social media. I think it's a great place for top of mind awareness, building community. But at the end of the day, and I say this, and I apologize if you've heard this before, but if I waved a magic wand and it went away tomorrow, how would you be in contact with those people? So an email address is a permission, a raise of a hand to get to your inbox. So as business owners and as marketers, we really need to be mindful of all these changes and make sure that we're complying and doing all the right things of building a quality list over quantity, and then kind of following the rules per se. So basically, what's happening is Google, Yahoo, and Apple, they're requiring all senders to follow email authentication best practice, which include publishing SPF or DKIM records, as well as DMARC policies on all domains. So let's face it, friends, this is like, I don't know, like what the heck is this, right? So I know that I have talked to some business owners, and I'm going to be honest with you, this like definitely gets in the weeds, but as a business owner, you need to know what's happening and have a basic understanding of it, because the good news is this is a need to know type of thing, and how it affects your business. So what does it mean? Basically, they want people to send emails that follow the rules and that they're safe, that you're not sending, it's funny, earlier this morning Kevin was looking for a email from a doctor's office for this health form thing we were have to hand in, and he couldn't find it. And partly because the email said scan in the subject line. Because let's face it, I don't know about you, but we all get tons and tons of spam on a daily basis. I actually had a new one about a week ago where there was email hacking. So I thought it was email hacking. All of a sudden, it was 8 o'clock at night, and my phone is blowing up with email. Not that I should have notifications on that late, but I did. And it's blowing up with all these emails, but they're all like newsletters to different businesses. And I'm like, what the heck is this? I'd never seen this before. And so Kevin was looking on the internet. He's like, you're being hacked somewhere. You're being hacked. I'm like, what does that mean? So sure enough, he said, he like went through all this thing, and it was, I was being, basically what happens is these spammers, hackers, they go in and they hack some account that you have online, which is concerning, of course. And they will buy something, but they actually start spamming all of these businesses, and you sign up for these email newsletters. And what happens is, in those emails, there's a confirmation of something they purchased. And sure enough, my Target app was compromised, and Target caught it right away. But just there's a lot of email stuff going on. So really, at the end of the day, how annoying this can be in terms of our deliverability of getting things seen in our of all the email things, all the email newsletters and information we're sending to potential clients and our clients. It is really for security, and security for you, for security for them. So just keep that in mind. So let's see. So SPF, really, this is what, now I'm going to give you some kind of technical background just so you have this and you're aware of it. So SPF stands for Sender Policy Framework. Big word. And again, I know many of you are probably like, I don't necessarily need to know this technical stuff, but I am a firm believer as a business owner that it is always good to know these things. You don't have to necessarily, you could have somebody do them for you. You don't necessarily have to worry about them all the time, but you definitely should know. Basically, it's a set of rules to prevent email spoofing. And if you're not sure kind of what that term is, and it's okay if you're not, because I'm always learning new words myself, it's when someone's sending emails that look like they're from a different source and they actually are. So for example, I use the example of Kevin with this morning getting an email. It did say the doctor's, like the practice name, but then it said scan. And I yesterday got something about payroll. So this is the protection for you. So spoofing. SPF works. It allows the owner of a domain to specify which email servers are authorized to send emails on behalf of their domain. So what this means is that if you're using an email service provider, we're giving them permission to be able to send emails by going into, this has to do with our hosting of our domain, where we go into our domain and we put up some framework. Now, that being said, although it sounds very technical, there is some very easy steps to do it. Your email service provider will have a breakdown. Also, customer service that you're hosting or where you house your domain can help you with this pretty easily. And a lot of this may have already been done for you. So basically, when an email is received, whoever's receiving it, that mail server, so if it's going into a Gmail box, a Yahoo box, an Apple email, they check this record to make sure that the domain is secure and that it's authorized. So really important, if you remember back a few years ago, we had to do this SSL which is a secure socket layer for our business, where on the domain, there is that lock, right? That represents security. So this is another form of security. And if it doesn't match, then basically it's going to be considered suspicious or fake. So my hope is that all these spammers and spoofers, this will help kind of downsize some of our email inbox and all the crap, that we get on a regular basis. And basically, it's just one of the measures to enhance, to measure your security level. Oh, sorry, went the wrong way here. DKIM is another term that you may hear. And if you are using an email service provider, if you use Gmail or Yahoo on your own, you're going to be getting emails and you're going to be seeing these terms come around. Basically, it's domain keys identified email. It's really, again, another verification to verify the authenticity and to prevent any email tampering. So like if your email got hacked in your Gmail account or in your, I actually have had my email hacked, not recently, thankfully, and that was a nightmare. And I do feel like, so this can happen to anyone, friends. So I feel like, we're pretty secure. We really do our best to follow the rules because we are a digital marketing company and we stay up on those things. But at the end of the day, it can happen to anyone. So the DKIM records, they're basically a digital signature, right? They're digital signature that you have followed the rules and you're doing the right thing. And it's basically, what happens is when an email is received, the recipient's mail server can use this public key that comes from that DKIM authenticity to basically verify who you are. And if it's not valid, then it's going to get bounced at the end of the day. So these are small little lines of text, lines of code, but they're really text. And it's very simple when you actually put it into your hosting again, or your domain. Again, it's very simple process. So don't worry that you can't do this, or don't worry that there's not resources. Although I'm talking kind of deeper in the weeds, I'm trying to make it so you understand that it's something you need to do, but something you also need to be aware of. So how can you be compliant? So publish SPF records. Basically, it's in your domain settings and it's done through your hosting provider or your registrar. So that's going to be your GoDaddy. That's going to be your HostGator, wherever you host your website, that's something that you are going to make sure that you verify. Now, that being said, some of us may use like a Wix or a Squarespace. You want to find out what they have in place. And typically you already have it in your email. However, you may want to go to their help menu and just search or get on a chat and just make sure that you're all set. It's a place where you're going to add the record in your mail servers. This has to do with your email. And not only is this just your email, let's see, Unique IT Pro here. We are a cyber lawyer. Thanks, Daniel. So it's definitely something where it's going to set you up for success. And the other thing too, friends, it also sets you up from receiving some bad email. So some tips on implementing the DKIM: call your hosting company, call your domain company where you're hosted. But basically what it's going to happen is when you set it up, it's going to generate a pair of keys that are public and private for your domain. And it's definitely done through your email service provider. So when I go from an email service provider to an email service provider, if I'm working with somebody, a client, we talk about it, the first thing that I say is make sure to verify your domain. So if you've already done this, you're golden. And typically, most email service providers, when you set up for the first time, what they do is they will walk you through the steps of how to do this. However, if you're like, I don't remember if I did this, then you would just want to make sure that your domain is verified. And it's basically the next step is you publish it. And then lastly, it's you're configuring your email server to outgoing emails. And again, friends, this is something that is step-by-step. It's usually a setup assistant. So I'm sure many of you have used that to help you walk through the how you do this You grab the information, you copy and paste, and it shouldn't take you more than, I would say, less than 30 minutes, probably shorter to do it. I'm saying 30 minutes because you've never done it before. Or the other thing that I'll tell you is that I encountered somebody last week that was super frustrated, had spent hours trying to do this. And the first thing that I said was, did you call customer service? I did. Finally, I called customer service. My friends, I am a firm believer that customer service is there to help you. I would encourage you that if you start this process on your own, that if you get stuck, call customer support. And if you don't get the answer the first time, hang up and call back. Customer support should be able to help walk you through this too, if it's something where you get stuck on. So there is something called DMARC policies. And basically, it's a domain-based messaging authentication. And basically, this is something that is within your domain. You will see this word come up. You will see this acronym come up frequently as you're going through this process. You'll see it frequently in your emails that you're giving notification that this is coming. And we're here at January 19th. So guess what? The fury's coming that you're going to get this notifications more and more frequently from now until February 1st. So at the end of the day, call your hosting company, call your email service provider, jump on a chat, because these policies are already in place. And it's just one step that maybe you have to do, but chances are you don't. And at the end of the day, you're going to know that your email is bouncing or it's not making it to your inbox because you can go into your hosting. There's reporting that's available. The other thing is that if you're using an email service provider, you're going to start to see your deliverability. Last year, Apple did this whole thing with security where they were blocking certain emails on top of all the other things that there was put in place for security. And one of the things that I can tell you is that now email service providers, some of them, so when I talk email service provider, I'm talking like Constant Contact, MailChimp, Active Campaign. So they have put in place in their reporting where they can identify what type of email that it's being received. So it will say Apple Mail or an Apple device, and they can tell you how much the deliverability. Not all email service providers provide that information, but I know as you get into like Active Campaign does have a report for that. I believe Keep, which is AKA Infusionsoft, has a report for that as well. But just keep in mind that this is something that you can monitor. You want to make sure your emails are being delivered. So the big thing you can do for yourselves on this, friends, is just stay informed. There's going to be security changes all the time. There's going to be updates that maybe need to be done. Chances are they're already done for you. The big thing that you need to do is if you are getting started with an email service provider, if you can't remember if your domain has been verified, is that you want to find out. Once you've done this, you don't necessarily need to redo it unless you move to another email provider. So like if you go from MailChimp to Constant Contact, this is something that you're going to have to do again. But at the end of the day, this is something that you should only do once. Make sure that your email that it's set up correctly, and you might need to tweak it, but chances are it's once. Definitely, I would encourage you to reach out to your email service provider. Look at their blogs. Constant Contact had a great blog recently. MailChimp, in the resources, I will include links to those so you can see those. Kind of the ones that I work. ConvertKit had one, as well as Active Campaign. I'll include links in the resources to those, so you're welcome to look at those. And at the end of the day, friends, don't overthink this. This is something that you need to know about because security is really important. There's more to come on this, but the first thing you need to do is verify that domain. We talked kind of in the weeds about the SPF, the DK, I don't know why I'm challenged with that, DKIM, and the DMARC policy. But those are acronyms you just need to be aware of. You don't necessarily need to know how to do all of these things and where to find them. The big thing is you need to know where to make the phone call. Hosting company, where your domain is held, as well as your email service provider. And it's not necessarily a phone call, it's probably a blog post or a chat to make sure that you're all set. The one thing I can tell you is that in your email service provider, so your MailChimp, your Constant Contact, your Keep, your Entreport, you can go into your settings, and typically it's going to tell you if your domain is already verified. So just keep that in mind. All right, my friends. This is today's training. Really, probably, like I said, not the most fun topic to talk about, but a much needed topic for you to know about in terms of security. So I hope that you have a better understanding. You're welcome to drop some questions in the chat as well. And just so you know, we are doing webinars on every Friday, and I'm going to drop here a link to next week's training, which next week's training we're doing making the most out of Facebook for your business. So you are absolutely, I dropped our website in the chat to that page. I hope that you join us. These are free trainings on Friday. Obviously, I know that your time is valuable and busy, so they're going to be under 60 minutes, probably 30 to 40 minutes, just so you know, so you can plan accordingly. They are all recorded, and I do provide resources as well. And if there's anything that I can do for you, I'm here to help. I also would encourage you to jump into our Digital Marketing Academy group. It's a place where we're kind of re-engaging. Join our Facebook group. We're re-engaging and really talking about digital concepts. If there's something that you need help with, it's a great community to work together and collaborate. There it is. So let's see. Nicole, you have a question. Nicole, are there changes coming to Google and Yahoo specifically that we need to be aware of? So Nicole, yes, only from the email perspective. So everything we talked about today are the changes that you need to know. So for Google and Yahoo, it's specifically email, their email that's providing more and more security that is going to make it harder for deliverability of email. So in general, Google and Yahoo as kind of search engines, there's always minor changes in the algorithm, but nothing where you necessarily need to be aware of that I'm aware of to share. But what I do know is that Google Mail and Yahoo Mail are making changes February 1st, and that's what today's topic was about. Great question. If you see that email failed in the DMARC reports, what can you do? So what can you do? So I would say the best recommendation that I would encourage you to do is go back and look at your settings. Look at your settings of your DKIM record as well as the SPF record, and make sure that something hasn't changed in those records. If it's something where it may have failed for, it should give you some information in that report of why it failed. If you can't disseminate that from the report that it's giving you, I would call your hosting company and where your domain is hosted and ask them, because they have more intel probably behind the scenes than what we have. But it would probably come from the settings. It also, it depends on where the email is being sent, but I would go back to there. Thank you. Let's see. Did you say Apple Mail has already made these changes? So Apple Mail did make changes last year. And so Google and Yahoo Mail are catching up to those. And do I know which ones are the most secure? Honestly, from my own experience, I feel like Gmail's pretty secure because, if you remember, they put in back in place. And so I should preface this. I don't really have a lot of experience in using Yahoo Mail. Some people love it when they have an email address there, they use it all the time. For me, I use Gmail because I use Google Docs and in my work, so I use Gmail. But if you remember, Gmail started to these security features. Gosh, it's probably 2 years ago now, where they had the folders, right? So they would have your inbox, and then they automatically put emails into promotions and then junk folders. So I think Gmail's pretty secure. The big thing is you really have to be mindful of your passwords these days. So I think that is going to make that, like, to access it, that's going to make it from getting hacked. But I think Gmail is pretty secure, especially as they continue to upgrade. I use Outlook 365, and it's pretty secure. I think the big thing is that you just have to be mindful of all the things that you can put in place to protect yourself. Because let's face it, when you're on the internet here, there's so many, I shared the example of that where somebody's signing me up for all these email addresses when they're basically trying to they're using my credit card. So as long as you are in the mindset that you want to just, if you get an email about security, read it. It might be something that you don't have to do, but just to be mindful of that. Let's see. Yes, Karen, I'm going to drop here for the replay. You can just sign up here and it'll have the video here. So you're welcome to it. And Daniel's saying most secure is your own domain with built-in security. Yes. Built-in security with your own domain is always a great thing. I think from an email service provider, it depends a lot, and I'm not familiar. Like, I don't have a server. There's other things that you have to build into that, but definitely that's probably, you're right. Absolutely. As a cyber guy, you definitely know more about that than I do. All right, my friends. So thanks so much for the great questions. And I hope to see you next Friday as we talk about email. We are talking about Facebook. We are talking, it's at 10 o'clock, same time, Eastern Standard Time. It'll be under 60 minutes. And we're just going to be talking about the updates of Facebook and how to leverage that page for your business. We'll walk through some of the meta things, meta universe, and things that you need to know, and really that you can put into action. My goal for these Friday webinars is that you can take away and put something into action immediately for your business. So hope to see you there. If there's anything I can do for you, drop me an email at awoodcock@touchingclients, which I will put here. And you're always welcome to stop by our site at touchingclients.com. All right, my friends, hopefully I spelt it right. I can't see. I hope that you have a fabulous weekend, and I'll look forward to seeing you next Friday. Have a great weekend. Stay warm, and stay cool if you're in a hot place like Australia. All right, my friends, take care.